An explosion. See how he reads the zone? He sees that zone. Look at that. That should have been a completion instead.
He always told us, remember, Jim, last week, I see the receiver.
What's going on, YouTube? Witty P dropping in one time on the road, handling some things. Actually waiting on my food right now. I got a little takeout order, but came across the Deion Sanders and Asante Samuel debate. Yes, and I was a cornerback myself, at a big university, so I had to chime in on this. I love my DBs, my cornerbacks. Yes, I come with the verses as well. Check that out. But I definitely wanted to chime in on Deion Sanders and Asante Samuel because they had a debate in regards to technique. Which technique is the best for a cornerback, coming out the break. And the debate, it was all fun and games until Asante Samuel tried to compare himself to Deion Sanders by throwing his stats up there. And this is a perfect case of numbers do not tell the entire story. See, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down Deion Sanders and Asante Samuel as long as what they had the little back and forth about as far as the technique that cornerbacks should use. And Asante Samuel, great cornerback. Probably very few you can find that can play off man like him and can jump routes and read routes, the route recognition and things like that. Very few can do it like Asante Samuel. Great player. But it's levels to this. And like I said, Asante Samuel, him posting his numbers, that's a no-no, man. Numbers do not tell the entire story. It doesn't. Now, you going to sit here tell me Darrelle Revis, who barely got 30 interceptions for his career, you going to take Asante Samuel over him? Because Asante Samuel damn near got twice as many picks? Come on now. Asante Samuel, you know better. Stop trying to fool people that don't know ball. You got to watch ball to know ball. And when you watch ball, very few, if any, was like Deion Sanders. The only cornerback I feel I can compare to Deion Sanders who had the athleticism around that time, was locked down, don't need no safety help, was Rod Woodson. Yes, and I did a versus on these two. Check it out. I'll put it in the description. But Rod Woodson with Pittsburgh was lights out. Defensive player of the year. Could return kicks, return punts. He just wasn't as marketable as Deion, and he wasn't as flamboyant as Deion. But Rod Woodson, the only cornerback, 6'1", 6 foot that I compare to Deion Sanders. Could run 4.3 out of Purdue. Deion Sanders stands alone at cornerback, unless you're going to put Rod Woodson up there with him. And then there's tiers to this. So you got Deion Sanders, he stands alone. My first tier, you got your Darrelle Revis, you got Rod Woodson, you got Charles Woodson, you got Champ Bailey. That's the Daryl Green. That's the first tier. Asante Samuel is in that second and third tier with guys like Rondé Barber. Who else is Asante Samuel up there with that you can compare him with corners around that time? Patrick Surtain around that time was really good as well. With the Dolphins, him and Sam Madison was locking up. He's in that category. Nnamdi Asomugha. He fell off when he went to the Eagles, but, he's in that category. Cornerbacks like that. That's who he's with, in that category. He's not with the Champ Baileys, the Charles Woodsons, the Rod Woodsons. Nah, that's another tier. It is. But Asante Samuel, a great player. Like I say, very few could play off like him and jump routes and have the route recognition like Asante Samuel. But I was very disappointed when he tried to throw his numbers up there like this is really a debate. Like we should be like, ooh, Deion Sanders versus Asante Samuel. Really? Stop it. Don't do that. Numbers don't tell the full story. Darrelle Revis, Daryl Green, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey. That's the first tier. Deion Sanders stands alone. You can put Rod Woodson. If you put Rod Woodson up there with Deion, I won't get mad. I won't, because that let me know you know ball. Especially his first 5-6 years before he got juked out his shoes and tore his ACL and moved to safety by Barry Sanders. Real ball. But yes, Asante Samuel, stop it. You can't sit at the table with Deion Sanders. You can sit at that other table. You can't sit at that table with Deion Sanders. No, stop it. We're talking about a guy that shut down half a field. Where you think the term shutdown corner came from? Asante Samuel, very rarely see you get in the man face and bump and run. You know, you great at what you do. Off man. Deion Sanders could play off and he could press. That's the thing with Deion. He could play off and he could press. No weakness. You know? And they had a back and forth. It all started in regards to the technique. Asante Samuel preferred a T-step technique. And Deion Sanders, he doesn't prefer that technique. He feels like that's wasted movement. You know? And there's no wrong answer. It all depends on what you prefer and how you're built, your footwork as a cornerback, things like that. It all depends on that. It's no right or wrong answer. It's all about not having wasted movement. If you can get out, if you can time yourself and say, I can get out the break faster with the T-step, you go with the T-step. If you say, I get out the break faster with the gather steps, then you do the gather steps, you know? But I will say this, with the T-step, you come out that break, you come in with the T-step, a guy do a double move, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Because you gotta turn your whole complete body now. You know? You gotta turn your whole complete body now, rather when you're gathering, you can still flip those hips a lot easier. You can flip the hips a lot easier when you do the gather step, you know, coming out your break, rather than T-step. Because if you T-step and that dude gotta do a hitch and go or come back and go, you're done. You're done. Or even a slant and go. You're gonna have to use that speed turn. You're gonna have to use that speed turn. You're gonna have to. That speed turn to get you back on the upfield shoulder. You know, talk real ball. You know, I'm a cornerback. Talk real ball. Get up on that upfield shoulder. You know? But yeah, I mean, it's no right or wrong answer in regards to the technique, but Asante Samuel was definitely wrong when he thought he can compare himself to Deion Sanders. That's when he went wrong. You know, debate all day long, but can't debate about careers, because Deion Sanders prime time, he stands alone. I think we all know that. But I wanted to talk some ball, Deion Sanders, Asante Samuel. You know, had that little back and forth. You know, I wanted to definitely chime in because, like I said, I love my DBs and I was a DB. So, talk some ball, comment, like, subscribe. This will help us share the video. Waiting on my food, about to smash. You know it. So, you help us share the video. Entertain, hit that cash app, baby. Talk some ball. Start the week with some fire. We are.